Hello there and welcome back to another exciting video where I set out to show you how and why your label is wrong and pointless in the most eloquent way possible. And today we're going to talk about a term that has been popularized in the last few years. Now, what is this term, you may ask? Well, if you saw the video title, you're probably not asking that at all, but I'll tell you anyway. Sapiosexual. Yes, you heard that right. Sapiosexual. You're probably already well acquainted with the LGBTQIA sexuality soup that has been thrust upon society, with new labels being added at such an alarming rate, they just gave up and stuck a plus sign at the end of the initialism. But here we have another label acting as though it's a sexual orientation. Now, if you've never heard of this before, you might be scratching your head in confusion, wondering, just what is this shiny new sexuality and what are they attracted to? The answer is intelligence. Yeah. People are actually claiming that they are sapiosexual and therefore only attracted to intellect. It shouldn't be too hard to see the problem with this. How exactly are we defining intelligence here? Education? Common sense? A good balance of the two? I mean, reading Richard Dawkins and following Neil deGrasse Tyson on Twitter is not a universal signifier for intelligence, or even at all for that matter. Some people have some very shallow requirements for what constitutes intelligence, and it would differ from person to person depending on their own level of intellect. For years we've seen the arguments that sexual orientations are innate, and that's why homosexuals can't be quote-unquote fixed, because they are born in a way that has them hardwired to be attracted to the same sex. Great, fine. Most people can be on board with that, especially because that's how it feels to be straight. You just naturally find yourself geared to looking for attractive features on the sex that is opposite of you. Sapiosexual, however, is not real. An arbitrary line for what you consider intelligent is not a legitimate sexual orientation. You can say you're attracted to what you consider intelligent, but this is just a personal preference and not a new orientation. I mean, if you're going to start making up sexual orientations for random personal preferences, why stop there? So, what, if you're just attracted to physical appearance, are you physical sexual now, or maybe shallow sexual? If you find funny people attractive, does that make you humor sexual? Maybe you're only into brunettes. Well, you must be brunette sexual. No, stop. Hold the phone, put down the peace pipe. That's not how this works. Try to be consistent and follow your own rules here. As it's already been established, a sexual orientation is not a personal preference. It denotes a biological inclination toward a particular sex, or in some case, both sexes. Therefore, a so-called attraction to intelligence is a personal preference and not an orientation, because anyone, male or female, can be intelligent, just like you can be short or tall, skinny or fat, funny or boring, etc. Even if the reasoning is that you're merely attracted to the characteristic of intellect regardless of the person's sex, you would simply be a bisexual who prefers people that you consider intelligent, which, by the way, seems to be a typical preference. Relative to themselves, most people pursue someone that they believe is either intellectually on their level or higher. You won't see many people claiming that they're attracted to stupid people, but those so-called stupid people are most likely considered intelligent by someone who is either intellectually inferior or equal to them. Orientations are an innate attraction to an easily distinguishable state of being, male or female, whereas a personal preference is an attraction to arbitrary physical and or mental characteristics displayed by individuals who fit into your bubble of sexual attraction. As is the case with most identity labels, sapiosexual comes off as a way for people to sound more deep and interesting than they actually are, without having to do anything other than latch on to the idea of intellect without even clearly defining it. Here's a hint. If you need a special label for absolutely every minute idiosyncrasy, you're not as smart as you think. Thanks for watching. I'm the only one.